He's
A guy that you were complaining about is washed that they got.
I didn't say washed. I said he was
You
fat.
were crying pretty much when they
I
traded
didn't
for
say he was
him.
washed. I said he was fat. There's a difference. He's not washed. He's fat.
What's up, guys? I'm JJ.
I'm Javier.
And this is PM Football. We're in a pretty dead part of the NFL offseason, so we wanted to have a little fun today. We wanted to make some crazy predictions for this upcoming season.
That's right. You and me have chosen 4 of our own personal hot takes that we believe will happen this upcoming NFL season. We're going to share with each other what they are. We haven't told each other what they are. Kind of have an idea of what they may be. But yeah, we'll just see what we think of each other's hot takes for this upcoming season.
Yeah, we're going to start things that we think aren't too crazy outlandish, and by the fourth one, pretty crazy bold takes that hopefully we have some discussions with some of you guys about.
For sure. So let's get started. I'll go first. My first hot take for this upcoming NFL season, I think there is a 100% chance a rookie will start for the Browns, QB-wise. Just specified, I think they'll have a rookie QB starting for the Browns week 1. Their 4 quarterbacks are Joe Flacco, Kenny Pickett, and then obviously their 2 rookies, Dylan Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders. The conversations right now is that Joe Flacco will have an honest and solid chance of being the starter. I think when they go into training camp, I just think the chances of either Dylan Gabriel or Shedeur Sanders outperforming Kenny Pickett or Joe Flacco, like I would personally, I would take those chances. I would take those odds.
Yeah.
Which one of the two, I don't know. In my own personal grading for the draft, I had Shedeur ahead of Dylan Gabriel. Obviously, the Browns thought different. They drafted Dylan Gabriel 2 rounds before Shedeur, so it could be him.
Well, and the NFL had it graded that way too.
Exactly. So, I mean, personally, I would have Shedeur over Dylan Gabriel, but that's not how they drafted. But regardless, I do think that one of the two, Dylan Gabriel or Shedeur Sanders, will be starting for the Browns week 1 and throughout the season.
Yeah, I mean, like you mentioned, right now it's looking like it's Joe Flacco's job to lose. So I wouldn't say it's a crazy bold take, but it is a hot take because
there are people out there that will be like, no.
Well,
like, they just don't see that.
On top of the fact that we just talked about Joe Flacco is probably the guy right at this moment, and they spent draft capital on trading for a guy like Kenny Pickett. Is a guy who has started in the NFL before as a former first-round pick.
Super Bowl winner. You got 2 Super Bowl winners in that room and 2 rookies. Yeah. And I'm going with the rookies.
And one of them has their name or jersey retired at their college.
Yeah.
Only one of them. And it's the guy that was the worst pick.
5th-round rookie.
Yeah. All right. Jumping over to my first crazy bold prediction for this upcoming season. Not only do I think that the Eagles will go back-to-back Super Bowl I ruined it. It's all right. I'll stick with that one. I was going to go with my rookie one first, but I'll stick with this one first.
All right, sure.
Not only do I think the Eagles go back-to-back in the Super Bowl as Super Bowl winners, but I think it is the first time since 2004 that there is a back-to-back NFC East champion.
Interesting.
I think the Eagles win the Super Bowl, and I think they win the NFC East.
Look, obviously the Eagles are the best team in the entire league. I don't think anyone will dispute that, not even Washington fans. But I think the pattern still continues.
Yeah,
I do think it continues. I know what people might say, like, oh, but the Eagles look so good. Yeah, there have been 3 other Super Bowl winners since that pattern has started in the NFC East.
Yeah.
Neither times have those teams won the division. I think it continues.
That's why I don't think it's a crazy take. But because it hasn't happened since 2004 where there's been back-to-back winners in that division, I think that's a hot take. Because
it can be.
It's just it doesn't happen. And the last team to do it, you know who it was?
Was it the Eagles?
The Eagles did it from 2001 to 2004.
Yeah, because that's when they went to the Super Bowl like 2 or 3 times throughout that.
I think that's the
lost every single one of those Super Bowls.
I think that's the reign we're about to be in of the Eagles. I think the Eagles are gonna be the next super team of the NFL.
I disagree with you, and I do like that this was the first one because I do agree it could be seen as a hot take, especially for NFC heads like me that understand like what this kind of streak means.
Yeah.
Like it's exciting knowing that for over 20 years now there hasn't been back-to-back champions in that division. But I think it continues. I do think it still continues.
You think that some other team wins it?
Yeah.
All right. All right. Kick it back over to you. What's your
Awesome.
number 2?
My second hot take. This one's kind of a two-parter.
Okay.
First part, I do not think Aaron Rodgers will sign with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Part two of that, even though they don't sign Aaron Rodgers, they still find a way to make the playoffs. I understand Aaron Rodgers came out and said, like, he's going through personal stuff. Like, I'm not knocking him on that or anything. I just think, I think the Steelers are pretty close to just being like, we're going to roll with what we have. And a part of the reason I say that is Mason Rudolph right now looks like he's going to be the starting quarterback for them, assuming Aaron Rodgers doesn't sign with them. They've
Don't forget
already
about Will
made
Howard.
the playoffs with Mason Rudolph. So they know they can achieve that. Plus, you drafted the quarterback in Will Howard. Not saying he's going to take the league by storm, but they at least felt comfortable enough to draft and say, hey, you could add value here to this QB room. And he won a national championship. Like, that means something.
He's got pedigree.
Especially with a championship organization like the Steelers. They still have a really good defense. No one's talking about how it's not like their defense took a step back. They spent their first round pick on a defender.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that defense is still going to be really good. And at the end of the day, Mike Tomlin is still your head coach.
Yep.
He knows how to get to the playoffs. Now, he's had some struggles winning a playoff game the last 3 years, but regardless, he's still a Super Bowl champion. He still knows how to run his respectable organization and get his team to the playoffs. So that is my hot take, that not only does Aaron Rodgers not sign with the Steelers, he doesn't sign with them, they still make the playoffs.
I strongly disagree with you on this
Okay.
one. I really think even, and I think this is even, I'll add this to this. If Aaron Rodgers does make the playoff or does sign with the Steelers, I think they have a worse record with Aaron Rodgers than they would have without him.
Which is part of the reason I'm saying I think they still make the playoffs, because I agree with you. I think if he does sign with them, I think, and I'm not saying Mason Rudolph is better. I just think there's less of distraction with Mason Rudolph as your quarterback.
I think that too. I just don't think either scenario they make the playoffs.
Oh, so you're saying even without Aaron Rodgers, they still don't make it?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
I think if they sign Aaron Rodgers, they're worse than they are without him. But either way, they aren't making the playoffs.
Interesting. And again, like, this is why this is just my second one, because, like, hypothetically, like, the way your offense is looking, especially after trading away George Pickens, which part of me thinks that's dumb, but part of me sees why they did it, just like business-wise and contract stuff and whatnot. Like, that offense isn't going to scare anyone. It's simply not, even with DK there. Like, that offense is not going to scare anyone.
Yeah.
So I understand people having their doubts about Pittsburgh. But Mike Tomlin finds a way, and that defense is still good.
He does. No, Tomlin just always overperforms.
He could get your team to the playoffs, guaranteed.
Yeah.
He
knows how to win.
Yeah.
All right. My second one. I'm going to go rookie. I was going to say this one first to keep it on the same track as you with rookies.
That's fine.
But my second one is that Ashton Genty leads the NFL in rushing yards and rushing touchdowns in his rookie season.
Wow.
I think
That's interesting.
Ashton Genty has a legit chance to go into that offense and become beast mode 2.0 for Pete Carroll. They are going to want to establish a run game. Mm-hmm. They still have Brock Bowers. They didn't really address receiver that much. They drafted Jack Besh in the second round. But I as much as I love Jack Besh, I don't think he's coming in right away and being a 85 reception, 1,000-yard receiver. He's going to be that possession type of receiver who they already kind of have with Jacoby Myers. Brock Bowers is going to be the focal point of that passing game, but I think the focal point of that offense is going to become Ashton Genty. And I think he just gets so many touches and just gets so many opportunities to be able to lead the league in rushing and rushing touchdowns.
I first want to say I disagree with you. I don't think
it's
that
crazy.
happens, but that is, I don't disagree with you because of me not like Ashton Genty. I do like Ashton Genty. I think he's very talented.
Yeah.
I think he will lead all rookies and everything you said, rushing yards, rushing touchdowns. And I think he's going to be a really good back in this league. I just think there's so much talent at the running back position. It's almost like the running back position kind of revitalized itself over the last couple of years than it was before with, hey, don't spend a first-round pick on a running back. Don't pay your running back all this money. Like Saquon kind of having a resurgence. Bijan Robinson looking amazing.
Yeah.
Gibbs looking amazing. Like with
Derrick Henry still putting up 1,800
like
rushing yards,
Bucky Irvin
1,900
coming out of
rushing yards.
nowhere last year looking amazing. Like I just think there's so many quality backs this upcoming season that it will be really hard for Ashton Jeanty to do it. But I kind of hope he does. Like it's really hard not to like Ashton Jeanty.
Yeah.
But so to make it all short, I disagree with you.
That's why
I
it's
see
a bold take,
scenario.
though.
I see a scenario where it could happen, but I just think there's so much talent at running back in this league.
I just think that the depth of that team running back wise, like I think they signed Raheem Mostert in the offseason. Like he's not scaring me to take touches away from Ashton Jeanty. That's Ashton Jeanty's
he's really
backfield.
good to give the ball on like the 5-yard line,
And
Let's
he
see if
has
we can punch it.
proven in college, and I know it wasn't to an SEC or Big Ten level that he played in. He was getting 35 touches a game
Yeah.
and was withstanding that throughout an entire season.
Yeah.
I think he could do that at the next level where he has a better offensive line and he has better weapons on his team with him. Brock Bowers is going to ease a lot of the box for him because they line him up in the slot a lot of the times. That's going to take somebody outside of the box.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't have to deal with that in college. He always had to deal with a stacked box the entirety of his time playing the game.
And you and me talked about this a couple weeks ago, the episode before we did Devin's interview, which if you haven't seen, go check it out. I feel like it was a pretty good interview with the Bills' newest defensive tackle signing, Devin Brant Epps. But we did talk about how we like what the Raiders have done offensively. So I agree with you that he's not going to face teams that are going to stack the box because now you have a Brock Bowers. And now, yes, Jack Best, I don't think he's going to take the league by storm necessarily, but I think that's still a quality draft pick.
They spent a second-round pick on a guy.
Exactly,
Yeah.
and I think he will be good.
Who
So-
I just want to say,
You were very high.
I was early on Jack Best.
You were very high and very early on him throughout the process. So I do agree that he will not face as many stacked boxes as he did in college. But again, like I don't know, I just
It's
think
a
there's
lot
so
to ask for.
Yeah, for a rookie especially.
For a rookie, it's a lot to ask for. But if any rookie were to do it, I think Ashton Jeanty is a legit chance.
I feel you.
I'm a huge fan.
All right, now on to my third one. I don't think the Seattle Seahawks make the playoffs. I think they miss on the playoffs entirely. And let's start with their quarterback. I have said for almost a year now, I don't like Sam Darnold. I think he's extremely overrated. I think you know exactly what he is and what kind of player he is. I don't think he could help. I think he is. I think the Seahawks have downgraded from Geno Smith to Sam Darnold, personally. And I think Cooper Kupp is washed. I know they brought Cooper Kupp in to kind of help him and help revitalize his offense to take them to that next level. Between me not liking Sam Darnold and thinking he's not good, and Cooper Kupp, in my opinion, being washed, I just don't think offensively the production is going to be there, and that Seattle fans or Seattle believers aren't going to get the production they think is going to happen. And they didn't really make any good quality signings in free agency. Can you think of a free agent signing they made outside of Cooper Kupp that you were like, hey, like they drastically improved here. They really did something good here.
Not off the top of
It's
my
because
head.
there isn't one. I went through the list and there wasn't a sign-in where I'm like, you know what, that's really great value. That's really good right there.
Yeah.
The only one you could say that about is Cooper Kupp if you believe he could still be what he was, and I don't think he could be what he was. I think he's at that age where his prime is behind him. He's not going to be what he was. And again, Sam Darnold is not the guy people think he is. Therefore, I don't think the Seahawks make the playoffs this year.
The Cooper Kupp signing, now that I'm like truly sitting here thinking about it, is kind of confusing to me.
Okay.
Why would you sign a slot receiver when your number one receiver already is a slot receiver?
Mm-hmm.
Like, one of those guys are going to play outside now.
Yeah.
And it's probably going to be Kupp, if I had to guess, just because I think his blocking is a little bit better, maybe.
Yeah.
But you're playing Cooper Kupp out of position, and he's already coming off of a down year.
And an injury.
I don't necessarily love the decision to do that. And like you said, I know you're a huge Sam Darnold hater.
Yes.
I'm more of a fan of Sam Darnold than you, which I think that is saying it lightly because you're not even a fan. Like,
No,
you think
no,
he's
no.
terrible.
I think he's buns.
So I think he's a competent NFL quarterback. I'll say that. I do agree, though, that I don't think they make the playoffs.
Really?
I don't think they make the playoffs.
Okay. I didn't think you'd say that. Interesting.
I think that division has gotten better. The Cardinals
It's
had
a good division.
Cardinals had a solid season. The Niners are, if they're healthy,
You can never count them out confidently.
if they're healthy, they're good. And I think the Rams are going to be one of the best teams in the NFC this year.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they are in one of the toughest divisions in all of football potentially. So I think it is going to be really tough for them to even sneak into the wild card. Because I definitely don't think they're winning the division.
Yeah, I don't think. I don't even have them make the playoffs. They're definitely not going to the division in my eyes.
Yeah. No,
So, yeah.
I agree with that take, to be honest.
Interesting. Then now you got me wondering if I should have even included it at this point, because now I'm wondering if other people agree with it or not. There's
No, I
gotta be
definitely
people out
think there are people that are on the Seahawks train. Like, I feel like some people think that Darnold's an upgrade.
Mm-hmm.
I think the bringing in of Cooper Kupp after JSN just had a great season. Like, the progression of JSN.
I do
should
like him.
continue.
I do want to say, like, I am a JSN fan.
It should the progression of him should continue, and bringing a guy like Cooper Kupp to mentor him and become even better. In theory, it should work.
I didn't even mention, you have questions with your running back room now. All these rumors and talks of you're going to trade away Kenneth Walker, and he's dealing with so many injuries, and who knows what's happening with Charbonnet. Like, you don't really know what's happening in your backfield now.
Yeah.
So not only is your receiver room outside of JSN questionable, now your running back room is questionable as well. Like, I just don't see it working out for Seattle. Like, in my opinion, they could easily have a top 15 pick.
Yeah.
Top 12 pick.
I think that's fair. I think so too. Moving on to my third bold prediction. I already know this is going to start an argument, so be ready.
All right.
I think that Caleb Williams and the Chicago Bears will have a better season than Jaden Daniels and the Commanders.
Okay.
Both ways. I think the Bears have a better record than the Commanders,
Okay.
and I think Caleb outperforms Jaden this year.
Okay.
The Bears have gotten significantly better. And I'm not saying that the Commanders have gotten significantly worse, but I don't think that they've taken that next step. I think their defense is still really bad. I don't think they've done enough to cement that defense into contention. And I know they did it last year without a great defense, but that just seemed like a Cinderella run that happens every once in a while. The Bears legitimately have gone into this offseason and fixed the offensive line, which was the biggest issue of that team last year, right? Would you agree with that?
Yeah.
I think their defense has improved, and they did the thing that was most important, which was bringing a new head coach. They brought in one of the best offensive minds in the game. And I know you can't sit here and say that he's going to be just as good as a head coach as he was as an offensive coordinator, but you can only speculate that is what's going to happen. That offense is going to take that next step, and that Caleb is going to take the next step. And if he does that, in my opinion, I think he has a better season than Jaden.
Okay. I would first like to specify, and I've said multiple times, I am a Caleb Williams believer. I do think he's good. I've always liked Caleb. I think Caleb Williams is a good quarterback. He will be a good NFL quarterback, no doubt in my mind. And I agree. I do think he takes a step up this season than he did last season. Not even saying it was a bad year last year for him.
No, he was with probably one of the worst head coaches in NFL history.
I do think he progresses. Now, let me ask you this. So you don't think Washington got better this offseason?
No.
What got worse for them?
Their defense.
So Emmanuel Forbes, Benjamin St-Juste, and Noah I as your three starting corners are better than Marshawn Lattimore, Trey Amos, and Mike Sanders still in the slot. Is that what you were saying, that you will take last year's? So they got better in the DB
No,
room.
I'm saying they didn't get better.
So you would take
I
last
didn't say I would take them. I don't think they got better or worse.
So you think Emmanuel Forbes and Benjamin St-Juste on your outside is a better option than having.
I'm not
Marshawn
saying it's a
Lattimore.
better option.
But you're saying that is equal. That those are equal.
Marshawn Lattimore was hurt the entire
Are you
season last year.
just answer yes or no? Are you saying?
No, I don't think so.
So what are you saying? I'm confused. You're
Jeremy
not saying
Chin
they're
left.
better.
Jeremy Chin left. They don't have him anymore.
Okay.
I understand that Jonathan Allen was not Jonathan Allen last year. You
Okay.
still lose Jonathan Allen, and you're trying to replace him with a guy that you overpaid for. The front seven
We
is
still
not going to
have
be good.
Jazon Newton, who should be progressing this year, was in many people's eyes the number 1 D tackle in last year's class.
Your starting defensive ends right now are Dietrich Wise and Dorrance Armstrong.
Yeah.
Who's getting to the?
We're gonna
pass?
sign a vet, and I'm not gonna sit here and say like whatever veteran we end up signing at DN is gonna come blow the doors away, but we are gonna sign a veteran edge rusher.
Go ahead and sign Von Miller.
It's not gonna be Vaughn. His bones don't work.
Okay.
I just think it's crazy to sit here and say that DB room.
Sure.
I don't even know
room.
what you're saying because you're
I'll
saying
give you the DB room. Sure.
so the DB room got better.
Yep. Every other spot's
Do
on that
we
team
still
got
have
worse.
our 2 All-Pro linebackers?
Bobby Wagner's 40
Do we
years old.
answer my question?
I don't care that he was an
Do
All-Pro.
we-
I legitimately do not
Why
care
can't
that
you
he's
just
an
answer
All-Pro.
yes or no?
Was he an All-Pro last year? Yes. Do I think he's an
Is he
All-Pro?
still
No.
on the team? It doesn't.
Sure.
No one cares what you think. You're
No
not,
one
you're not
else
voting for
believes
All-Pro.
that he is that good either.
The NFL surely does think that.
Cool.
So do we still have our 2 All-Pros?
Sure.
Okay, so we still have our two All-Pro linebackers, and our DB room got better than last year, and they're under
Your
the
defensive
same-
line got worse,
Let
and
me
your
finish.
safety group got worse.
Let me finish.
Both those groups got
Let me
worse.
finish. We still are learning under a Joe Witt Jr. defense that should pick up this season now that you're under the same system. I'm not arguing the D-line room. I don't think anyone will argue the D-line room. We need to get better in that defensive line room. I don't think anyone's going to argue that.
Safety
Anyone
room got
should
worse,
argue
too.
that. Why can't Will Harris be similar to a Jeremy Chin?
Because Jeremy Chin had actually produced in the NFL. Has Will Harris ever produced in the NFL?
He showed flashes. What makes you think? He's only played for one team and he's still
Yeah.
young. What makes you think? So you're saying he can't come out and be like, "Hey, this guy's not bad."
Jeremy Chin was legitimately good for you guys last year, and
He was
has
decent.
has
He mi-
been a solid safety in the NFL.
He missed a lot of tackles.
He was a
You
solid
know that,
safety in the NFL.
you know that Saquon Barkley run in the NFC Championship
I
game?
think there's about one tackle or one safety in the NFL that can tackle Saquon Barkley one-on-one. So I don't want to hear that.
It wasn't 1-on-1. He was on the sideline. He still missed it. And there are plenty of examples of that, of Jeremy Chin missing tackles like that. And I don't even want this being me ripping Jeremy Chin because I do like him. But to sit here and act like Jeremy Chin was some absolute world-class safety is insane.
I'm not saying that.
I mean, but
I'm
you're
saying
making
he's
it
better than
seem
Will
like-
Harris.
Sure, yeah.
So how did
But
they not
the
regress?
DB room as a whole got better.
Corners and safeties are different for me.
I agree, but out of the 5 starting DBs, we're getting better or should progress better in 4 out of 5 of them. So how is the DB room as a whole not going to be better?
How is the DB room? I just said I think the DB room got better.
Okay, so that entire half of the defense is getting better.
No,
Plus
3 players. The
5.
safety room.
5.
No, I'm not
Plus.
including the safety room. The safety room did not get better.
Quan Martin could progress into something.
You
Quan
have
Martin
told
could be
me
better.
Quan Martin is not good. Straight up.
When have I said that?
You've said that he is not that good of a
When?
player.
Please, what discussion were we having where I say Quan Martin isn't good?
Maybe
And
it
I'm
wasn't
not-
you. It might not have been you.
It definitely was not me because I think Quan Martin's good. Is he amazing? No, but he's good. Quan Martin is good.
And then who's the other one?
Who's the other what?
Safety.
Will Harris, and we'll see what happens there.
But you're banking
so
on
you're
Will
ba- so
Harris
you're
to
basing
have a better
An
season than
entire
Jeremy Chin.
defense on being bad because of a D-line room, which everyone will agree
That can't rush the
needs
passer.
work, and Will Harris. When the other
Is that 5 of
Will
the
the
6
other-
starting positions?
and what are the other 6 positions doing?
half
better.
Half of your
Less than
defense
half. Less than half of
by
the
one
defense.
by one position.
Okay, is that less than 50% or over
Yes,
50%?
it's less than
Because
50%.
over 50% shows that they're going to be good.
You're banking on a 36-year-old linebacker to be an All-Pro back-to-back years.
I'm not even saying he's got to be an all-pro. I'm just saying he has
He
to
has
go and
to
do
be.
his... Why does he have to be?
Because
You think
according
your
to
bum
you,
linebackers are good?
They
and they didn't make All Pro, and I'm not saying they have to make All Pro to be serviceable. I'm just saying Bobby Wagner has to go in there and do what he's done every single season of his career.
I think they made a huge mistake not bringing someone else in.
And what?
At linebacker. Bobby Wagner is closer to 40 than he is to 30.
And he's still bringing it, man. He's still bringing it.
You can't do that.
I'm so happy you think this, because you have been wrong about literally everything about Washington since last year. Literally every prediction you have of Washington, other than maybe our week-to-week game things, which you were wrong most of the time than not.
So were you.
That's not true. I was wrong sometimes, but
you said after the first week that the Commanders should just mail everything in and not play.
Everyone, dude. They
went to the NFC Championship game
from we went 4-13.
Yep.
No one had us going as far as we did.
Oh, it's almost like that's what I was thinking too.
What are you saying?
What are you saying? I'm saying the same thing.
No, you're not. Look.
We said the same thing after week 1 last year. No. That it was the same old Commanders.
That's one instance. You have been wrong about Washington more than 90% of the time. And I'm happy you will be wrong about this one. And not even bring up Chicago's part.
Chicago's offense is significantly better than they were last year. No?
On paper, yeah.
On paper?
Yeah, on paper, yeah. How can we tell? They haven't played games yet.
And you're sitting here saying, oh, well, the Commanders' defense is going to be better. They haven't played any games together yet, though.
Yeah, I think they're going to be better.
Oh, okay. So then I can sit here and say that about the Bears.
Wait. I don't even... Do I think they're going to... I think the DB room will be better.
And I think the Bears' offense is going to be significantly better.
On paper, it should be, yeah.
Yes, same thing with the Commanders.
But we were saying the same thing with them last year.
What?
We were saying this last
year. Not to
year,
this degree.
I agree that if you were to compare the Bears roster last year before games started and this year, absolutely you would take this year's. But let's not sit here and act like we were going into the year last year saying, hey, Chicago, it will not be making noise this year. Everyone was saying, hey, Caleb Williams is going into the best situation a first overall pick has ever been in. He has so many weapons. They're going to make pretty good noise this year. Everyone was saying that. And look what happened.
Do you remember what they started out this year?
Who's Chicago? I do not know. They were 4-2 before they ran into Washington. And who stopped?
They were 4-2.
Yeah.
And then their coach decided to be the worst head coach in NFL history.
No, you're over-exaggerating there.
Do you not remember that Thanksgiving game?
Yeah, I remember. It was bad.
That was the worst coaching performance I've ever seen in an NFL game.
I'm not excusing him at all. And I'm not even saying, again, that, like, Caleb won't take a step up, the offense won't take a step up. But I think with how good Washington was last season and what they did in the offseason to improve the team, right. I'll admit mostly offensively.
Let me ask you this.
Okay, sure.
Did the Giants improve this year?
Sure, yeah.
Did the Cowboys improve?
Yes.
Did the Eagles improve?
Yes.
So all three of the teams in that division improved. Did the Vikings improve? No. Did the Lions improve? I don't think the Lions improved.
I'm trying to remember their offseason moves. What moves did they make in the offseason?
They didn't really sign anybody. I think they signed a defensive – I can't remember. They signed a defensive end, but it wasn't like a crazy signing or anything. They signed they got a corner. What corner did they sign?
They did from Tampa, right? Yes.
Carlton. They signed Carlton Davis.
Yeah.
Okay. You got a corner.
This is what they need.
They didn't improve the D-line, really. They drafted Tyleik Williams. Aiden Hutchinson.
I think was a good pick.
I think so, too. I don't think that they overly improved, though, from last year. I think Aleem McNeil is a better player than Tyleik Williams, and they're not going to have Aleem McNeil for the entire season.
We don't know that yet, but...
Do you think that, though?
I don't know. I like Tyleik. I really do.
So,
like Tyleik.
Best case scenario, they get a player just as good.
Okay.
Not improving, though.
No, but it's hard to improve with how good they were. Did
the Packers improve?
Yeah.
I don't think they improved enough to say they improved. Like what? What, though?
They got a number one receiver now.
Yeah, and then they're going to lose their corner. Jair Alexander is going to be traded.
But you can't just assume that. Like, as of now, he's on the roster. Like,
Do you
as of
think
now,
that the
they're going into
Packers
the
got
season.
better?
Yes. The Packers
How, though?
improved last year. I just told you. Now
Because
they have
of a
number one
receiver?
a number one receiver that they didn't have, yes.
A team that had
position that they drastically needed, yes.
A team that was full of number 2 wide receivers last year.
Yeah.
And the guy that they just drafted that is probably better suited to be a number 2 receiver, who's they're expecting to be their number 1 receiver. Matthew Golden is better suited as a number 2.
It's not what you were saying throughout the process.
I love Matthew Golden as a prospect.
Yeah. So
I don't
now
think
he's a number 2 receiver.
With the Packers, he doesn't. I don't like the fit. I hate the fit with the Packers, to be
Why?
honest with you.
And we're totally going off.
I'm just saying that bringing this all in together, the division that the Commanders play in got significantly better than the division that the Bears did in. I think
disagree.
the Bears finish higher in that division than the Commanders do in their division as well.
I strongly disagree. And I love that you think that because you're going to be wrong again. Like, the Commanders improved this year.
I think the
Again,
Bears finished second in that division. I think you guys finished third.
Really? That's insulting. But I'm happy you think that because you've been wrong.
And I think Caleb has a
wrong
better
all of-
season. Caleb has a better season than Jaden.
That's fine. You can think
And the
that.
Bears finish with a better record than the Commanders, and they finish higher in their division.
Just know you're going to be wrong. I mean, I'm going to save this because you're going to be wrong.
All right. I don't
Dope.
think I'm going to be.
Trust me, you will. You were wrong all of last season about Washington. You're going to be wrong again.
I was right about the one team in your division, and so I'm pretty good with
About that,
guessing stuff in the
sure.
division.
I don't think you will.
I think the Cowboys are going to be better than you guys this year.
I don't think so.
All right, we'll see.
We have the best. Not only do we have the best quarterback in the division, we have the best quarterback in the entire conference. And I think that goes such a long way. And not only that, we have the tools to protect him. We added weapons for him. He's
A guy that you were complaining about is Wash that they got.
I didn't say washed. I said he was
You
fat.
wsay crying pretty much when they
I
traded
didn't
for
say he was
him.
washed. I said he was fat. There's a difference. He's not washed. He's fat. Which goes into my next point. My last hot take. Debo will have an all-pro-like season.
This is insanity.
No, it's not. Let me tell you why. Every other year, Debo pops off. Let me give you an example. 2021.
2029.
2021, his total scrimmage yards, 1,770. Had a drop off the year after. 2023 had 1,117 all-purpose scrimmage yards. Year after, dropped off to 806. Next year, which will be this year, I think that pattern continues of him stacking up all-purpose scrimmage yards in the run game and in the pass game. We brought in Wes Welker to help out with the offense. You know what Debo's last year was? You know who was coaching him up?
Wes Welker.
Wes Welker. Adding him to that room. Not only that, Debo will be with the coach that helped him in the Senior Bowl, and they have a great relationship. I think that relationship will help strengthen his play on the field. He's playing with the best QB in his career. You can't dispute that. Jaden Daniels is the best QB Debo will have ever played with. I think that as well will go a very long way. Not to mention, Debo will be the best receiver Terry's ever played with in his NFL career. We've never had a number 2 like Debo Samuel, which goes into my next point. I think Cliff Kingsbury will cook up greatly having 2 weapons like Terry McLaurin and Debo Samuel at his disposal to make new schemes, make new plays. And he's playing for a contract. This is a contract year for him. I think he shows out for a new contract. All those reasons are why I think Debo Samuel will have an all-pro-like season this year.
That's insane.
I literally gave you facts. Is there any facts you would like to give me?
Is he 30?
I don't know how old he is. That's a good question. But that's when you're acting like there's no... He's 29. So not 30
So
yet.
he's going to be his 30-year-old season. He's 29 right
29.
now.
Yeah, I don't know when his birthday is.
I mean, regardless, he's a almost 30-year-old receiver.
Okay.
Coming off the worst year of his career. And he was injured. No?
Everyone on that team was... But it's not like his injury was like insane. He still played 15 games. Like,
yeah,
he missed
but he
3
was
games.
had a nagging injury that entire season last
He
year.
missed 3 games.
How many
played more games than your linebackers.
What did he do last year?
It was an off year, which proves
was
my
he not
point.
their only
Does that
weapon
not
as
prove
well?
My first point,
was he
though?
not only?
Does that
was
not
her,
prove my first
was
point?
Was he not their only weapon last year?
No.
Who? Please name one.
Brandon Ayuk, George
Didn't play.
Kittle.
Brandon Ayuk did not play.
George Kittle.
George Kittle was hurt all of last season as well. Christian McCaffrey was hurt all of last season as well.
No sense. You make no freaking sense. My first argument was that every other year he's showing patterns that every other year he pops off. You're basically adding to my argument.
Look at those years. What years were those? It was years when he was playing
2021.
with all pro other players. George Kittle, when he's fully healthy.
You don't think Terry could
Christian McCaffrey.
You don't think Terry can make an argument for all pro? Like, can end up doing good this year that he could put his name in all pro?
Sure. But none of those other players that he has played
Daniels
with
could play.
None of the other.
Do you think Jaden Daniels could play to a level where he could be selected
Sure.
all pro? So you're playing next to an all pro receiver and have an all pro QB. You don't think there's a scenario where he as well can have an all pro like season playing next to an all pro receiver and an all pro QB?
None of those seasons that he's done that has been with another all pro receiver. It's been with an all pro tight end and an all pro running back.
I can't remember what years
Ayuk's never been an all pro.
No, he made one.
No shot.
I'm pretty sure he made one.
If he did, I do not remember that at all.
You don't remember a lot of things.
Brandon Ayuk was an all pro?
I think so.
I don't think he was. Regardless, I don't think Deebo Samuel is going to be an all pro. It's just as simple as that. And I understand.
Brandon Ayuk was all pro. 2023, Deebo had over 1,000 all-purpose yards.
Helps my point even more.
That's going to.
He's playing with 3 all-pro players on that team. Are there 3 all-pros on the Commanders?
I just told you, if Terry is an all-pro caliber player and Jaden's an all-pro caliber player, why can't Deebo add to that?
He's not going to be an all-pro. He can add to it.
I just gave you facts.
Sure, he can add to it. He's not going to be an all-pro.
Why not?
When is the last time Deebo's been an all-pro?
Are you not listening to my
When
argument?
was it?
I told you 2023 was his last year.
As an all-pro. So both of them made it as all-pros that year?
Yes.
What?
That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't understand your argument. You're literally adding to my argument. Like, if Terry could be an all-pro caliber player, Jaden be an all-pro caliber player.
Has Terry ever been an all-pro?
No. But I'm saying the last year was his best season.
And he still wasn't an all-pro.
Yeah. There's really good receivers out there. What if he could do it this year?
I just can't believe that he was an all-pro that year.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know where your brain's at, dude.
But he's not, I just don't see it. You think he's going to outperform Terry this year?
When did I say that?
No, but that's what I'm asking you. Do you think he outperforms?
I don't think so, because Terry's still the number one.
So then how is he going to be an all-pro if Terry didn't make an all-pro last year?
Why not? Ayuk and Deebo made all-pro the same year.
I'm saying if you don't think he's going to outperform Terry.
Yeah.
Did Terry not have a really good season last year?
He did, and I think he could do even better this year.
But I just don't see it as a possibility.
You're telling me
when he is going to get touches taken away from him.
I don't think so. I don't think he's going to touch his way. I think, which adds
so
to my
it's just
going
to be a 2-man offense.
I think Cliff Kingsbury is going to add plays and schemes and different things to get Deebo the ball in so many different ways.
So it's just going to be a 2-man offense.
It was a 1-man offense last year. We added a player. And look where it got. It got to the NFC Championship game. Having one
De'Ami Brown had good playoffs.
Stop it. Oh, my God. Yeah, I'm not denying. De'Ami Brown had a good 2-game stretch there. I will not deny that.
Zach Ertz had a good offseason.
Are we going to sit here and really say, hey, don't forget y'all had De'Ami when we have Deebo right now?
I think there was a question that they played better than him last year.
Wait, no shot. No. Just because you're confusing two things. Just because De'Ami overexceeded expectations and Deebo didn't hit his expectations doesn't mean De'Ami had the better year than Deebo. That's not even a thing.
One of them got $15 million a year in free agency this year.
And wait, Deebo got more. So what are you saying?
No, he didn't.
Deebo's getting paid $17 guaranteed this year.
Yeah, that was already a
Deebo's
contract.
We had to restructure it so he gets fully guaranteed.
Yeah.
So what are you saying?
Yeah, do you know why they did that?
Deebo's getting more guaranteed.
Why did they do that?
No. I'm
do
doing
that?
your argument.
I know. He's making more money than him.
I'm doing your argument. You're saying De'Ami's better because he got $15 million, which isn't even guaranteed.
I was joking about that. He's not better.
No, I think you truly thought that until I
No,
made you
I just
sound
said that
stupid.
to make you mad.
No, I think you truly believe that until I
Yeah,
made
you're
you
right.
sound
I thought
stupid.
De'Ami Brown is better than Debo Samuel.
I believe
No,
you.
I don't.
No,
I don't think
I
that.
think you truly believe that.
I don't
until
think
I
that.
made you sound stupid.
I don't think that.
I don't believe you one bit.
Okay.
Yeah, Debo's gonna be an all pro like player this year.
Is he going to make an All Pro? Because that's two completely different things. Because was Terry and that's not, how is that a bold take if you're
you're arguing
he
it.
could be an All Pro. I thought you said he was gonna be an All Pro.
All pro like okay, sure, Debo will be an all pro this year.
That's insane. There's no way. And I know you're gonna just say, look at all the things that I just showed you.
I literally gave you facts. All you said was De'Ami Brown was better.
Then why were you crying when they traded for him?
I wasn't even
Yes,
crying.
you were.
I was at work when we traded for him.
Yeah, and I was with you.
Yeah.
And you were not happy. You
No,
said,
'cause
why?
he was overweight.
Why? Why would we do that?
Because he was overweight. He looks skinny now. My boy got in shape.
No, he doesn't.
Yes, he does. You haven't seen the workout videos?
He looks the same.
No, he does. He lost weight. Debo lost weight, and that's all I wanted.
He looks the same.
I just wanted to get him on a diet.
Maybe
get
lost
him on
2
a treadmill.
pounds.
Nah, he looks good now. Debo's looking good.
He looked.
I'm
not gonna argue
Debo,
with
because you
on
know
that.
I'm right.
No,
You know
sure,
I'm right.
you're correct in the fact that he lost weight and he probably lost
There
a
we
pound.
go.
He might have lost a pound or two.
No. He looks better. He's better than De'Ami Brown, regardless of what you may think.
I just said that I think he's better than De'Ami Brown.
No, I still don't believe you.
I said it jokingly that he had a better playoffs than him because he didn't make the playoffs. That was the whole thing.
No, you're like, I mean, you can make an argument.
That's what I'm saying.
No. Debo's making all pro. What is your final hot take?
All right, let's get off of that topic for a minute.
Yes,
We're going to this
I'm
topic.
getting tired of being right.
My number 4 bold prediction for this upcoming season is that not only do the Kansas City Chiefs not make it to the AFC Championship game, I don't think they make it to the conference championship. That's the same game. I don't think they make it to the wild card.
So they missed the playoffs.
I think the Chiefs don't make the playoffs this year.
No.
The
I'll let you
Chiefs
say your arguments.
were 12-0 in one possession games last year.
Mm-hmm.
12 of their 17 games were one possession, and they went undefeated in all of those games. Is that a realistic thing to happen every season?
No, it's not.
You should maybe win 50%. If you're an elite team, you win 50% of those games. Mm-hmm. Maybe a little bit more than 50%. They went undefeated in one possession games last year.
Speaks to the resiliency.
They're older.
Mm-hmm.
And they're getting Rashee Rice back. But like,
no, not Rashee Rice. No, Rashee Rice. My bad. I'm thinking of someone else.
But
yeah,
like,
Rashee Rice.
I don't think that they have overly improved. Josh Simmons is a question mark. We got to see how he plays. I think he's going to be good, but there's a chance he's not. And I think their offensive line just took a hit from what it was last year. And again, their players are a year older. And I understand that, okay, they're only a year older, but they have some old players on their team.
They do.
Travis Kelce's what, 35, 36?
I wanted to include him. Sorry to cut you off. I wanted to include him in my hot takes thing, but I actually don't know why I just cut you off. This is very irrelevant. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
And I don't think they have a run game with an offensive line that got worse. Like, they're going to bank on Kareem Hunt as a 30-year-old running back. Pacheco was awful.
You know how I feel about
Pacheco just loves hurting the ground more than he does scoring touchdowns.
I'm not a big Pacheco guy.
He's a social media running back.
He is to the running back position what Justin Herbert is to the quarterback position, but Justin Herbert's, you could say, is good.
Like
I don't.
The only reason Pacheco was good was because
of his style.
Travis Kelce was just killing defenses, so they were putting 2 linebackers on this guy and not having anybody in the box, so he could just break to the other side that Travis was not on.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I really think that this team, with the games, the way that they played last year, they played a really dangerous game last year, and they still survived somehow. Now, I understand that that's just how the Chiefs are. I don't think, won a single game last year by more than 10 points. I don't think they did. I might be wrong on that, but I think I remember that.
At least to my knowledge, I don't remember it. Again, we could be wrong, but I don't remember.
And again, they were 12-0 in one possession games. That's unfathomable to happen 2 times in a row. You're gonna lose majority of the time, 50% of those games.
Yeah.
That's luck. I'll be completely honest with you.
Don't forget officiating. Officiating has a huge.
And they also have the refs on their payroll, which is a lot of calls go your way when that happens.
Yeah.
Like, I think there's a legit chance that they take a step back, and not only just because of the Chiefs. I think that division in general.
They did get. I will agree with you there.
The Chargers, I think, improved.
I
the
think
Broncos
that could be a
improved.
top 3 division in the NFL.
And I've already said I think Ashton Genty is going to be a superstar this year.
Yeah.
Why couldn't they make
Huge
a little run?
AFC West.
I am.
Yeah.
I am not on the Chiefs though.
Yeah.
And I know you're going to sit here and say it's biasy because you see all. I don't know why I just knocked that over. You see all this stuff on the front of the table, but I legitimately think that the Chiefs do not make the playoffs this year. And I know that is a crazy statement because they have the best quarterback we have ever seen play the game. But, I mean,
a top
I'll say
two
that.
quarterback of all time.
And they have probably the best head coach we've seen since Bill Belichick.
Okay, I can agree with you there.
And how about offensive mind? I think he's the best offensive mind.
Yeah, he's the best offensive mind the league has ever seen. Yes.
And just the way that team plays, like they are just a good football team every year. And we say it every year. Oh, the Chiefs are probably going to take a step back. They're going to take a step back, and they don't. They continue to persevere and end up in the Super Bowl every year or in the AFC Championship game. I think this is the year. And I know, like I just said, say it every year. I don't think they make the playoffs this year. And that's why it's my last one. It's the crazy take.
If you're still watching this, first, thank you. Second off, if you are still watching this, call a mental institution for JJ. Because if you think my takes are just completely outlandish and this one is like a thing, like if you were to say they don't make the AFC Championship game, sure. But to say they're going to miss out on the playoffs entirely, I don't see that at all. That they can't be one of the best. What is it now? 7? Is it 7 or 8?
7.
They can't be one of the best 7 teams in the AFC. Like, you're crazy. That doesn't make any sense.
That's why it's my bold take. Right now, if you break down the AFC,
yes,
I think the Bills, the Ravens, the Bengals, we talked about it before the show. I think the Patriots can sneak into the playoffs. I'm not saying.
Yeah, I think they could be a wild card.
I'm not sitting here saying they're better than the Chiefs. I'm not saying that. I think that they can make the playoffs though. They're in an easier division.
I agree. Yeah.
The Broncos, they made it last year.
Sure.
And the Chargers.
Sure.
That's 6, right?
You completely forgot about the...
And the Texans.
Yeah,
well,
so
because one of those teams are making it.
Yeah.
Whichever team it is, one of those teams are making it.
Yeah.
That's 7.
Yeah.
I think there's a legit possibility.
The Chiefs are better than every single one of those teams you just mentioned.
Were they the first seed last year?
Were they?
I don't think so.
I can't remember.
Were they?
Yes, they were. They had the best record in the
it's because they went
NFL.
12-0 and 1-0 in one position.
They finished the season 15-2. It should have been 16-1, but they were too afraid to go against Cincy.
No, it was
playoffs.
the Broncos. That's what you're saying.
Yeah,
they
that's
let
what
the
I'm saying.
Broncos
Yeah,
win.
they let the Broncos in because they were too afraid of Cincy, which I don't blame them.
Let's say 4 of those 12-0 games go the other direction. They go 8-4.
Yeah.
They become the 4th seed in the AFC. The division improved.
Now, I will say this. And I'm not denying that I agree the division did improve.
I want to say this before you're about to say
Okay,
this.
sure.
I'm gonna put a thing on Twitter for all of the people that follow us on Twitter.
Yes.
I'm gonna put a poll up.
Okay.
Which is more likely to happen this year? Debo Samuel making an All-Pro,
Okay.
or the Chiefs not making the playoffs?
I like that idea.
And I want to see which one
I'm
gets
genuinely
more
interested
votes.
because I'm genuinely interested. I think that's a good idea. I forgot where I was going with all of this. Oh,
You think the division genuinely got better? That's what you were saying.
yes, I do agree the AFC West got better. And yes, like I can't argue with stats. They were in very close games. Whatever stat you brought up, like 12-0 and all those, whatever. You can argue a majority of those games they didn't even play well and they still found ways to win those games. Now, imagine if they could just play well this year.
That's the point, though, kind of. Is like, well, maybe they just aren't that good, and they just find ways to win games.
So they just found a way to go to the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
Are you listening to yourself?
They just found ways. But your whole point is,
but your whole
point is that they didn't play good.
I'm not even saying I'm saying in some of those one possession games that they won, that they didn't even play as good as they could have, and they still found ways.
So does you can say that about every single team.
Sure.
So that's not even a worthwhile.
That they didn't even play well in some of those games, and they still won it because.
So you can say the same thing about any team that was that good.
But it's because their talent on that team is that much better than everyone they're playing. So and their coaching staff is that much better than everyone they're playing.
Could the Commanders have played better against the Lions in the game they beat them by 30 in? Yes, they probably could have beaten them by 50.
Which one? What are you talking about?
In the playoffs,
game? Yeah, we beat them by like 14.
Yeah, you guys probably could have beaten them by 30 if you guys played better.
We should have, yeah.
That's the point.
But it would be different if you were saying like something about like the Lions winning that game. Washington still won that game.
But the Chiefs still won all of those games. I get
what you're saying. Okay.
Like they just won. They win. They don't. They don't care what it looks like. They just win.
I just don't see how you go from almost complete. I wouldn't say. I'm not gonna say almost because they did get thrashed in the Super Bowl. Be in a position to win a three-peat. They didn't, but they were in the position to possibly do one. How many years have they been in the AFC Championship game now? 6. I may be wrong. Like 6, 7. Say around there.
Something like that.
6 or 7 straight years of being in the AFC Championship game. And then all of a sudden they're going to miss out in the playoffs entirely. I don't see that happening at all whatsoever.
I just, and I know this is going to go against my own team. They choke in the playoffs.
Yeah.
The AFC quarterback specifically, the only one that has done it has been Burrow.
I think you are...
Allen and Lamar don't perform in the playoffs. Or it's not even that they don't perform.
Allen doesn't have the clutch gene in the playoffs.
I don't want to hear that conversation because it's always been the defense.
I'll give you that. Sure, I'll give you that.
Because you can't sit here and tell me that Josh Allen did not.
But at the end of the day,
they lost.
At the end
because
of the
defense gives up 35 points to the Chiefs every single year in the playoffs, which is what we did the entirety of this offseason. We have never attacked the defense as much as we have.
My point, we know what Patrick Mahomes does on a yearly basis. All of a sudden, that's just not going to be a thing. Like all of a sudden, he's just not going to.
I'll be completely honest with you. I don't think we've had a better defense than what we have going into this season with, ever.
You guys invested. We have to see how they do. We have to see what
every investment this offseason has been in the defense.
We have to see what they do, but you guys did invest a lot this year in that defense. We just have to see how they perform.
Yeah. But I think this is the best defense we've potentially ever had.
And you will still find a way to lose to the Chiefs.
If we still lose to them by that.
You will. What do you mean if? You will.
They're not even making the playoffs, so it doesn't matter.
But that's insane. Like, I don't understand. Back to my argument, like, how 7 straight years of the AFC Championship almost completing a three-peat. Like, you still have Andy Reid. You still have Patrick Mahomes. You still have Travis Kelce. Like I would understand if you make the argument, hey, they're not going to go to the AFC Championship game. All right, sure, whatever. But to miss out on the playoffs entirely, like not be a top 7 team in the entire AFC, like that doesn't make sense.
The whole point that I'm making is halfway through the season. Do you remember? I think the first 8 games of the season, they won by like a combined like 20 points.
Okay.
4 of those games, half of them go the other way. They're a 500 football team.
Okay, but that's
the point. Is that
you're just talking about like hypotheticals.
I understand, and that's the point. Is that if that happens again this year, and it does go the opposite way, they're not making the playoffs.
Well, yeah, but like you can't bank.
I'm not even saying they're going to go 0-12. I'm saying if they go 8-8 or 6-6 in those games,
sure,
they aren't making the playoffs.
If they went 6-6 in those games, they'd be 9-8, which is what the Broncos were when they made the playoffs. So by that,
and the Broncos beat them, and in another one of the one possession games, it was the Broncos.
They weren't. You can't sit here and tell me they went into that game against the Broncos and actually played. You're lying to yourself.
So you're telling me they would be tied, and there's a chance that neither one of them doesn't make it, right? That's what you're saying?
No, I'm saying they would have made it
No.
because
Why?
it would be a tiebreaker at that point.
Yeah.
We know if it's the Chiefs versus the Broncos, both of them legitimately trying.
How do we know?
Because it's the Chiefs. It's if you had to bet, you're a betting man.
But this
if
is,
you had to bet
but
money,
this is
just answer this. Just answer this. You're a betting man.
This is the
If you were to bet money today, they play a game today. Broncos, Chiefs. Who are you putting money on to win?
today, not last
Today.
year.
Not last year. Today.
The Chiefs.
Okay then, because we both know if the Chiefs would have legitimately wanted to win that game, that final week of the season, they would have done it. They didn't want to see Joe Burrow and the Bengals in the playoffs. And I don't blame them. I wouldn't want to either. They were hot last year towards the end of the year.
Chiefs aren't making the playoffs. Caleb's gonna have a better season than Jaden. Ashton Genty's gonna lead the NFL in rushing yards and
that's
rushing
actually
touchdowns.
a good idea. Let's go over.
And the Eagles are going back to back, but not only back to back Super Bowl champs, but they're winning the NFC East in back to back years for the first time in since 2004.
You are wrong about every single one of your hot takes, and I will be right about 100% of mine, which is there is a 100% chance a rookie will start at QB for the Browns.
All right? No, your bottom level
Yeah.
is already wrong
How?
because Joe Flacco's starting the year for them.
We don't know that. Steelers don't sign Aaron Rodgers and still make the playoffs.
No shot they make the playoffs.
Seahawks won't make the playoffs.
I agree with that one, and I think that one's kind of
I could maybe
Yeah.
thought of a better one, but it's what came to my head. And I'm sure there's people out there that's going to call me stupid.
Seahawks fans, maybe.
Yeah. Oh, dude, what was that one video? It was pretty much me just trashing Sam Darnold. There were a few Seahawks fans, illiterate Seahawks fans, may I add.
Yeah, hold on.
That had a
No,
lot to say.
I'll let you finish yours before I go.
No,
to this.
they just had a lot to say in broken English.
Why can't, if you're gonna leave a comment on a TikTok that we have,
Yes. Or any video.
at least make it make sense.
Yeah.
Like the
Look, we
all right,
both got degrees. I would say our reading levels are at least average. Like they're up. We can read.
maybe a little above average.
We can read. I'm not saying we're scientists here, but we can read.
I just
Some of the things y'all put, it would make 2 + 2 seem difficult. Like it is. Some of the things y'all put make zero sense.
I just
At
can't
all.
understand for the life of me. For the Cowboys video in specific.
That was
and,
weird, man.
Like all we were sitting here saying is that the Cowboys still don't have a run
Which
game.
is factual. Which isn't even like a.
If
which
you
is
can
factual.
sit here and tell me that they have a run game,
Please argue that. Like,
but that's you were, and it's not correct.
it's really not. But they want to bring up stuff that we weren't even talking about.
No, and the best comeback to any of the things we were saying is worry about your own teams. We
don't
both have
to.
good run games.
We don't have. We don't have to worry about our teams. We don't have to worry about our teams. Our teams are.
Our
taking
teams
care of
both
themselves.
just made it to the championship games of
Yes.
AFC and NFC.
Yeah.
I think we're
When's
okay.
the last time Dallas did that?
I don't even think I could tell you.
94, 96?
Oh, but guess what? They beat the Bills in the Super Bowl that year. They beat the Bills. Don't forget that. They beat the yeah.
Over
30 years ago.
Over
at this
30
point.
years ago. Or 30 years ago.
I'm so happy that you guys have something to hold on to, and just and have hope that someday you'll get there again.
All we're trying to say is if you're gonna write comments on our TikTok, we welcome it, negative or positive.
Just know that
Just
if
write
you
proper English.
just know that if you sound stupid,
we're gonna
we
let
are
you know.
not gonna hold back.
No, we're gonna
and
let
we
you
will
know
tell
you
you
sound stupid.
you're wrong.
You need the U.S. education system has failed so many people. It is sad to see, and they're all in our TikTok comments.
What about your own team, bro?
We don't have to. Our teams are good. You don't have a run game, which is factual. It's factual. And my final one, Debo will have an all-pro season. Please do that. I can't poll on Twitter because I'm genuinely curious. Like, genuinely.
Yep.
So, yeah, those are our hot takes.
I can't wait to see what the Chiefs fans have to say about this.
Me too, because Chiefs fans, I think he's wrong. Not only do I think you guys make the playoffs, I think once again you make the AFC Championship game. Whether you win that or not, I don't know, because there are arguments that, like, Are you as good as last year? I don't know, but I think for sure they still make the AFC Championship game. So I'm with you, Chiefs fans.
Nope.
Anything you would like to say before we wrap this up?
Just be smart in your comments. Like we legitimately want to have like a back and forth.
Yes, and
if you can be competent and give us actual reasons to have a legit conversation with you.
I'm happy you brought that up because like I know we make it seem like there's just our comments are just flooded with hate speech, which isn't exactly wrong. Like it definitely is, but there are comments here and there where like people either agree or disagree, but there's a dialogue
and it makes
there
sense.
where they're like, "Hey, I disagree with you because da da da," and we're like, "Okay, we see your point," or they're like, "I agree because da da da." It's like, yes, that's what we're saying. Like, whether you agree or not, like dislike us or not, whatever, just make your comments make sense.
Yeah.
Because if it doesn't, we're gonna let you know you are stupid. Like it's that simple. Like if you're stupid, we will let you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So thank you for bringing that up. Also, I want to bring up what a sad day it was for DC sports last night with the draft lottery and the Caps and Nats. It was just I'm still trying to recover. I know this is a football page we got going on, but man, my heart is still broken over all of that. I just want to say that.
You cannot convince me
It's so
that the NBA lottery is not rigged.
So rigged.
I'm
not watching the draft.
The video of them actually pulling the ping pong balls. They pulled the 4 numbers for the Mavericks. No one did a thing. The Mavericks didn't even know that they had that combination of numbers. It took a lady yelling from the background saying,
"Hey,
the Mavericks won the pick." And it's like, how did the Mavericks not know that they won the pick after those numbers are drawn?
I have zero interest in watching the NBA draft this year because it's to the point where it's like no matter who they pick, he can end up being good. Just knowing that we got screwed, and I'm not here saying like I didn't think we were gonna get the number 1 overall pick.
No.
I generally did because even before last night, I thought the lottery was rigged.
So you have those 3 teams have a 14% chance to win.
And they go 4, 5, and 6.
What is out of 100? What's 100 minus 14?
Well, don't put me on the spot. I'm gonna go.
There's an 86% chance that they don't win that pick.
Yeah,
those are pretty good odds that they don't get the first pick.
Like I didn't think we were gonna get the first overall pick. I even before last night, I thought the NBA lottery was rigged. I thought they were gonna give Washington either 2 or 3.
Yeah.
So when I heard Washington at 6, like I just couldn't comprehend why.
The fact that the top 3 worst teams in the NBA, none of them got a top 3 pick.
Yeah.
How does that happen?
It does
How? Like legitimately. What is the purpose? The whole purpose of the lottery, I understand we're going a little bit too far on this, but I just want you to understand why basketball is a failing product right now. Their viewership has gone down, and it's just not a fun game to watch anymore.
And if you're a DC sports fan watching this, I know you're feeling this pain right now.
No, but the whole argument that I'm trying to make right now, what is the whole purpose of the lottery system is to stop people from tanking, correct?
Yes.
You're telling me that those 3 teams that had the best odds weren't tanking this year? Their teams were terrible. They're still tanking. And now you're going to give a team that is trying. They're basically saying, hey, we're giving up. We want to get a better player. Please help us.
Yeah.
No, you're going to have the 6th pick now. And now a team that was like 2 or 3 games out of the playoffs and it has an elite level point guard and an elite center already, we're going to give them the next generational player in the draft and just keep them good and keep all the bad teams bad. Like, what sense does that make as a system? How does a team, the top 3 worst teams in the league, don't get a top 3 pick? None of them.
Yeah.
How? And the 3 teams that did get them, the Mavericks have an elite 2 players on their team. The Spurs. No one's talking about the Spurs. How do they do it? I'm not even mad. I'm not even mad that the Wizards, like you said, didn't win the first pick.
I didn't think we were going to get the first pick.
But there are like 3 players. There are like 3 legit good prospects in this class.
So unforgivable. Like, the fact for Wizards fans, and if you're a Wizards fan watching this, you know exactly what I'm saying here. For years, we have been begging this organization to do things the right way, to restart the right way. Just do things the right way, please. They finally do it. They start all the young players. They're investing in the young players. We suck. We just go through the hard times. You get rewarded at the end for going through those hard times and doing things right. And to just give us the 6th pick after all that suffering and torture and just doing things the right way, you give us the 6th pick. Like, really? And you reward the Mavs who shot themselves in the foot for trading away a generational player. Like, again, I know this is a football channel, but, like, we are still
Just
hurting.
imagine.
Like, we are still hurting.
Just imagine if the NFL had a lottery.
No, I would honestly.
Like,
I don't know if I
you would wonder. You would wonder, why don't they? Why don't they?
Please don't.
But I'm saying, like, why doesn't the NFL have one?
It doesn't make sense.
Exactly.
It doesn't
Why
make
do they
sense.
have one?
It does not make sense.
So what? A team wants to tank. That's their decision.
Strategy.
That's
The
their
strategy.
decision. Now, oh my God, we're gonna have the viewership going down. It's already going down.
I didn't know this, but now that I think about it, it makes sense. Did you know NFL preseason drastically outweighs NBA regular season? I don't think playoffs, but I don't think it's playoffs.
But
either.
regular season, yes.
NFL. You know how sad that is that the NFL preseason. These games don't matter. The starters do not play. People are still watching that more than your grand product.
The case of
What are we doing?
the NBA trying to make it a point that we don't want our product to be bad and have teams tanking. Why not?
That's why you got outwatched by hockey this year. Like,
the fans are hoping, like us, we finally are in a chance
it right.
to get a player at the top of the draft to help us fix our team. Yeah. And then we don't end up landing him. Now we are going to watch it for sure.
No, I'm not. I don't. Again, like this, whoever we get at 6 could end up being great. I'm not watching it. Like, I'm not watching the draft for what?
Why? Like, I just
Why would I watch
wrap
the
my
draft?
head around of what the lottery is supposed to fix.
Accomplish. I don't know what it's trying to accomplish. You're not rewarding anyone.
Since the lottery has been around, how many number 1 picks, the teams that finished with the worst record in the NBA, how many of those do you think finished with the first pick after the lottery?
Less than 5.
0.
Really?
None of them.
But then what are we doing?
None of the teams that had the
doing?
worst records in the NBA got the first pick in the draft.
I'm wondering if I'm gonna post this on TikTok or not. Because, like,
none of them.
So frustrating, bro.
How do you have 0 teams that finished last in your entire league not get the first pick? Once. Not even one time.
It's a joke.
Regardless.
I'm baffled. I'm sorry. Like, I didn't know we were going to go into
I'm going to put a little thing in between these clips and say, if you don't like basketball, skip over this part.
But if you don't care about Wizards basketball, or no, just
like the NBA in general.
Yeah.
Like the NBA, final thought, the NBA has been on the downfall. The games
Rightfully so.
have become, how many three-pointers can we make? And we're just going to only shoot three-pointers at this point, unless it's a fast break and we do a dunk.
Yeah.
There's like 2 or 3 legitimate players in the league right now that can shoot mid-range. All the other ones are just trying to shoot three-pointers. And the game has just changed so much. And the lottery system's broken. They're only trying to cater towards super teams. And the teams like that we like are getting screwed because we are trying to get to a point
trying to build something
where we can get a player. And I know the argument is, we'll just go sign people in free agency. Who's going to want to play for us when we don't have a future?
Think about, if you are an NBA superstar, are you going to go to a place that is already has stuff built around them because they're getting the lottery picks? They're at a better location, like a bigger market. Or you go sign with Washington, who keeps getting screwed every year in the lottery, so already can't get sign-ins and isn't in this grand market like a Miami or LA, or even throw Boston in there. Why not? San Antonio, like,
the best
no
chance
one's gonna want to play for you.
The best chance the Wizards have ever had of getting a star level player was Kevin Durant, because he's from here.
Yes.
Even he didn't want to play here.
No, and you can't blame him.
So who's gonna come fix this team?
And that's what makes it frustrating. I know I keep saying it, but like, after years of begging the organization to do things right, they did things right. We were supposed to be rewarded. I'm not saying give us the first overall pick. That would have been nice. Absolutely.
But there's no reason we should have gotten the sixth pick.
You could have given us top 5? Like, that's just ridiculous. Again, sorry, we know this is a football channel, but we just had to say that.
This is why the NBA will never, ever, ever
eclipse
be better than the NFL.
Or college football.
College football is a better product.
People would rather watch.
I'll be honest with you. I think college basketball is better than the NBA. Yes. I legitimately enjoy watching college basketball.
More passion there.
Yeah, because they know they're not making it to the next level. So, and the March Madness is amazing. Significantly better product than NBA playoffs.
Yes, easily.
It's not even close. Regardless, we're gonna enough of hating on the NBA. It's a terrible product, and it's really just. To be honest with you, it really hurt. It sucks because I love watching basketball.
And guess what? No one outside of DC is gonna talk about this because they
Charlotte
have to deal with it.
Charlotte and Utah.
Anyone outside, but at least they got like LaMelo a few years ago. So even they got they at least got to experience hey, we got this really high profile player. We haven't had that since Bradley Beal.
Guess when we did? Last year. In the worst draft class historically known to man. A guy that's going to be a sixth man for the whole entire career.
You know it's bad was the first pick in the draft. We literally had a lottery pick last year, and it just completely went over my head.
Alex Sarr was supposed to be our savior.
Yeah.
He's not horrible.
He might be solid.
He's not horrible, but he ain't Cooper Flagg or Dylan Harper or name the next 7 players.
Rutgers got a couple dudes that
Yeah.
Man. Yeah, sorry about that. It's just if you're a DC sports fan watching this, then you add on the Caps and that. It was just last night was very bad for DC fans like me. It was just very, very bad night last night.
Yeah.
So anything you would like to say before we finally close this off?
No, I had fun. This was a fun episode.
This was a very passionate episode, so I did have fun. Make sure you like, subscribe, share the video, leave a comment. Which one of our hot takes do you actually agree with? Which one of our hot takes do you completely disagree with and think that we're stupid?
What are some of your hot takes?
Yeah, let us know some of your hot takes. Again, if you're gonna write hate comments, just make sure they are punctually correct.
Or if you make a hot take, make it so that it's actually reasonable. Not, Josh Allen's gonna die. Lamar Jackson and
Lamar Jackson's the new pope.
Yeah, should be.
I'd vote for him. I don't even have a vote. I don't know why I said that. Yeah, thank you guys for watching.
Even more of a reason as to why the Bears are going to be better. He's from Chicago.
You know what? You convinced me.
Exactly.
I like this is an actual stat. At least I'm assuming this is an actual stat. This Pope, this is the 267th Pope.
Mm-hmm.
He has eaten more hot dogs than the previous 266 popes combined. That's my dog.
No, I saw something that said that this is the best and most loyal Pope we can get because he sat through a 41 and 121 season of the White Sox last year.
Did you see the clip of him? The clip that he's at the World Series game? I rock with him. He's cool.
Yep.
All right. Thank you guys for watching. Again, leave comments. Let us know what you think, and we'll see you next week.
See ya.